Hi, Internet. My name is Emily, and I was sent some questions to answer about myself, so let's just get started. Okay, so the first question is describe yourself in a few words. I am curious, sensitive, artistic, and creative, and maybe a little bit naive, if we're being honest. Okay, the second question is what motivates you? And so I wrote out the answers to all these questions so that I had something to refer to. And when I wrote the answer for this one, I was talking all about like setting goals and like being able to see progress and all, that kind of like stereotypical kind of answer to, way to answer this. And then I was like, well, yeah, but like, what's the motivating factor behind that? And so I thought of like two feelings that kind of opposing to each other, and the first one is I would like honestly say is love, as like cheesy and corny as that sounds. I think, you know, when I I think back to like when I felt like I was at my best in life, and it's like having like some strong feeling of love either for someone else or just like love of life or appreciation of beauty, wanting to be better for the sake of like having hope for the future. And then like on the flip side to that, I think anger is also a very like motivating factor for me. So I think anger can be like one of like the strongest like intoxicating feelings to experience. And I know a lot of people don't like want to necessarily live there, but I think, if I'm able to like harness the power, I think it can be like a very like motivating feeling. Third question, what demotivates you? I think being in any kind of situation where you feel like there's no hope for the future, or like not no hope for a better future. And that's like, being in a dead end job that doesn't go anywhere, feeling like there aren't any other options. It can be like not feeling like you can have an impact on the world or having an impact in the way that you want to. I would say, like, feeling like no one shares the same values that you do, or having difficulty like finding the people who do kind of share your values. Also, human corruption, the sense that corruption is the only way to get ahead. I think that's pretty demotivating. Number four is what can make you happy. I think happiness is something that kind of just randomly occurs, and I don't know at this point in my life if I believe in being able to try to control that response, because I think it just kind of just leads to disappointment. But things that have a good chance of like making me feel at peace, if I feel like I'm like caught up in a task or overwhelmed by, like the daily grind or whatever, just like going out for a walk by myself. And I live in a place where I'm pretty lucky to have like a lot of like nature around, and even in the city. And so just like being out in nature alone, I think that sort of brings me like a real like sense of serenity. I would also say like being able to just like have a change in scenery. Like I like going out to venues like clubs or restaurants that have kind of like, I guess, like interesting decor or atmosphere, or just like something a little bit on the like unconventional side. I think experiencing new things, feeling like I have the ability to experience new things and learning something that I wasn't aware about before. I think those are all things that they all bring me happiness in, a very like kind of like momentary sense. Okay, so number five is what would you change about yourself? And my answer to this question is I wish I could be, I guess, more honest with people, or at the very least, I wish it wasn't something that like tore me up inside, to be able to be like, always feeling on guard about like hurting other people's feelings. I think that's definitely an issue I can have. Um, I do think that like, for the most part, like people who know me and people that I meet, I think in general people tend to like me more than dislike me, but I do kind of feel like I don't necessarily feel like I'm taken seriously very often. So I would just say like figuring out how to have more of an authoritative presence. Question number 6, what is the best thing about you? Okay, so this is probably going to sound like a weird thing to say because, like, why wouldn't anyone answer it this way? But I think, like, the way that I perceive the world and life, it's different than how I kind of see, like, most people perceiving it. And um, I, I know that, like, that can be kind of like a source of loneliness for some people. And I definitely feel that at times too. But I think honestly, I wouldn't want to be anyone else if I had the chance to be. I think like another thing about myself that I value most of all, I think, is just like I have an appreciation for art and beauty and being able to see beauty in ugly things, not like shying away from wanting to experience ugly things just to, I guess, get the most out of life. I would say that I value that in myself most of all. Okay, number 7. What do you like in others? Um, I don't think there's anything really like specific, but I would say like being able to see someone in like their best elements. Going back to the corruption thing, I think like on the flip side of that, anytime you see someone has able to be successful while maintaining integrity and authenticity, I think I find that to be really inspiring. Yeah, I would also just say like, just like the little unique quirks that everyone kind of has that sort of sets them apart from everyone else. When people do something that kind of subverts your expectations, I always sort of like experiencing that. All right, so those were all the questions that I was given. Thank you again, Sarah, for inviting me onto your channel. I hope these responses can provide you with some educational use. Have a good day. All right, bye. Thank you.